Alright, shalom to the hopefully elect. I'm going to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Dash. Double honor to the head apostles and elders of great millstone who taught us his truth, along with his sincere brethren also laboring in his work, and also to the believers, you will say shalom. Alright. So yeah, this lesson is going to be entitled Confounding the Mighty. Alright, that this on top of the dome, I was going to call it Lucifer, but I'm going to call it Confounding the Mighty. Alright, and the mighty in today's sense would be the Luciferians. Alright, so all this time, you know, you people, you've been going to church, you've been taught that Lucifer was some mystical demon on the ground, you know, with his own throne, burning in hell, torturing souls, man. Well, that's not according to what the scriptures is talking about. Right, and this pyramid represents this system that is laid out for the masses of people. And you, my friend, who are not in the know, are brainwashed, as you would be on the bottom down here, following these different religions and philosophies, you know, which are set up by the elites. So as you can see, right here, right, you got brainwashing, and they use religion to confuse you people, all right? And the first one on that list right here is what? Christianity. You know, Christianity has been exposed on a major level in these last days because the Lord is he's doing away with all these lies, man. He's exposing the truth. And who the devil really is that the Bible speaks of, and which would be the Luciferians. But Lucifer doesn't necessarily mean devil. We're going to get that in a second. It actually means light bearer, all right, carriers of supreme knowledge, okay? And everything comes down from the elites. So we're going to come back and visit that. Let's get some scriptures real quick and get into this lesson. We're also going to go into how the Lord is going to use the poor of this earth to take down the mighty. The mighty would be the top-thinking families, right, that are currently ruling this, not only this nation, but the world at that, right? The beast system, the EU, and the NATO, all right? Which is the beast system mentioned in Revelations 13. Okay, so let's start. Isaiah 14:12. It says, "Hard thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. Hard thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations." All right, so of course, if you've been growing up in the church, you read this, you'll think it's talking about, you know, spiritual demon Satan falling out of heaven, you know, where he fought against the Most High, and the Lord banished him to the underworld, to where he was going to have a throne to where he can torture souls, you know, for eternity. But that's not what it's talking about. So when it talks about falling from heaven, it's simply talking about falling out of rulership, all right? Heaven signifies a rulership, all right, dominion, authority. Right now, the ones that have authority are the Edomites, all right, which are the biblical Edomites, or the so-called white man, all right. So it says, "How thou fall from heaven, O Lucifer, all right, son of the morning, how thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations." And the so-called white man, through his power that was given unto him, have weakened the nations. I'm gonna prove that, man. So you know, we're gonna get this word Lucifer real quick. Get the definition of it. Lucifer equals what? Light bearer, shining one, morning star, Lucifer, of the king of Babylon and Satan, right? Light bearer. Light bearer just simply means someone who has higher knowledge, all right? Has the highest form of knowledge over the rest of the people, right? So the ones that are governing this earth know the truth. They know what the masses does not know. That's how they're able to control the masses through their ignorance, because they're not enlightened. So the enlightened ones are the ones that know everything, and they push out whatever they want unto the masses to pretty much keep them confused. Now you can have Luciferians on the left-hand side, in which that's what you have here, all right? Or you can have Luciferians on the right-hand side, all right, which are the ones that have supreme knowledge and righteousness, all right? So you have Luciferians who have it in wickedness, and Luciferians that have it in righteousness. And in the this case, the Lord is using the poor of this world and giving them knowledge, right? And they are called the enlightened ones also, the light bearers, the Luciferians. And the Lord is using the elect of the nation of Israel to bring down the mighty, which are the top banking families of this world that have gained control over all things, all right? So we have been given the task to take down this man by using nothing more than the scriptures, and we're going to prove that in this lesson, all right? So when you go to Job 9:24, it tells what? The earth is given to the hand of the wicked, okay? And then the wicked is talking about a certain group of people. It says he covered the face of the judge thereof. If now, who is he? That he is not talking about just one individual. It's talking about, it is talking about one individual, but it's also talking about his seed that came from him. It's talking about Esau, the so-called white man, who was the devil that the Bible speaks of. He is the generator of the so-called white man today. So when he came into power, talking about the so-called white man during the Renaissance, which would be around 1400s, he ran around painting the faces, of the images of the so-called blacks, in which they were Jews, ruling during the Dark Ages at the fall of Rome around 300 AD, and they ruled for 1,000 years. And we'll get that. As a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. We start at verse 2, verse 1. This is Revelations 20:1. It says, and this is like pretty much cold talk, but I'll reveal exactly what it's talking about. It says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven. That's really talking about our Lord Yahushua, the one who ignorant called Jesus Christ. It says, having the key to the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand, right? And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Okay, now this dragon is not talking about a literal serpent. Okay, it's actually talking about Esau. Okay, that same spirit that was in the Garden of Eden, who grew into a great dragon in Revelation. That same spirit was carried through Esau and his people, and that great red dragon will be representative of the top elites of this world. Okay, it'll be representative of the top banking families. These people over here who have control over everything that goes on. These would be that great dragon, all right? The EU and the NATO, the beast system. And the Bible calls him what? The devil and Satan. The devil means to deceive, and Satan means, let me get that real quick. Devil means to deceive, and Satan means to, an adversary. Satan means adversary. But we're going to get that right here. Alright, first definition, adversary, one who opposes another in purpose or act. The same, it says the name given to, it's like pretty much adversary, alright? Kind of butchered that, but if you go down to definition B, it says a Satan-like man, alright? And that Satan-like man, as we've been saying, as I've been saying, is Esau, the so-called white man, alright? Who was given power over the entire earth, according to Job 9:24, right? The earth was given to the hand of the wicked. So that great angel, who was our Lord Yahushua, came and he laid hold on the dragon, right, that old serpent, and he bound him 1,000 years. And this is after the fall of the Roman Empire. Okay. Now this devil had the rulership back on the time of the Greeks and the Romans, and he fell out of power according to this right here, this prophecy. And he was bound for 1,000 years, meaning he was, pushed back into the caves, and he was in captivity for 1,000 years. Okay, so when you go to verse 3, it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit. That's over there in Europe, all right? That land that is barren, it doesn't grow, all right, much fruit. It says, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loose a little season. Okay? So the Lord set a seal upon him, all right? He was bound up for 1,000 years. He was taken out of rulership after the fall of the Roman Empire. And then he came back, right? It says he must be loose for a little season. in that little season is now. So after 1,000 years, from like 300 something AD all the way up to the 1400s, all right, AD, it's roughly 1,000 years. And during that time, you had the Renaissance, all right. You had the rebirth of a nation, in which that nation was the nation of Esau, and they went out to deceive the world. Okay, just like they did when they was in Greek. They were doing the Greeks and the Roman Empire. So when you go down to verse 7, it says, Revelation 20:7, when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Okay, this is on the Renaissance, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. All right, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And ultimately, they're gonna go to Russia, right? I mean, they're gonna go to war with Russia. Gog and Magog represents Russia, which is gonna burn America with thermonuclear fire. Okay. So once this man came into power during the Renaissance, he deceived all the nations that are in the four quarters of the earth. You see? That's why the scripture said that the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. Alright, so we're gonna go back to this right here and kind of scan through and see if we can find something to read, some good stuff to read, some good information. Alright. And yeah, these Rothschilds, you know, these top bankers, they are the ones that fund the wars that we have, as you can see right here. Let's read this real quick. 3 steps from private central bank to world war. Step 1: enslave the nation to a private central bank, issuing the publicity currency as a loan and enter to trap the people in unpayable debt. Right? Yeah, they give you that fake money. They give you that, you know, it's pretty much paper, man. At the end of the day, it's not backed by nothing. And they gave you that paper, you know, to prep for the new world order, because paper holds no value. Now, if they crash the economy and they crash the system, then who has all the resources? They got all the resources. The stuff that has value to it are like oil, gold, silver, rubies, precious jewels, right? Everything that has substance, they have those things, and they gave you pretty much IOUs, you see? And so they plan on crashing this system and getting you people to bow down to their new world order agenda. Step 2: when the people cannot borrow anymore, have the government borrow on their behalf and without their permission to keep the pyramid scheme working, right? Because America and the whole world of that is nothing more than a pyramid scheme. Step 3: when both the people and the government can no longer borrow, start a world war to conquer other nations' wealth to balance the books. That's what they do, man. That's what these elites do. As you can see, they've been doing this for years. Right? The crash of 1907 was followed by what? World War I. The crash of 1929 followed by World War II. Okay, 08 wasn't a big crash, but this current time right now, in which they were gonna crash the system pretty much completely. They're gonna start a World War III. Alright? And this is all to gain riches. Let me read this real quick. Few Jesuit agents. The Rothschilds and Rockefellers. The Rothschilds and Rockefellers are only two of 13 controlling families of the Illuminati. They control the British monarchy and other royals worldwide. They control the world fiat currency, except Iran, North Korea, and Cuba. With that, they control the world religions, world political system, the world corporations, the planet Earth, and possibly beyond. But they cannot yet control the information on the internet that exposes them. Right? Like this right here. Like we putting out information and we expose this, man. You know, mainly the prophets are the ones that are giving you the root of the problem. There's a lot of people that know about the Illuminati, but they don't know, you know, the root of it and where it came from. Alright, everything comes from the scriptures, as I'm exposing to you right now. Alright, and this is a quote right here. I'll read this real quick from 1790. From 1790, from Mayor Hampshire Rothschild states, he said, "Let me issue and control a nation's money, and I care not who writes the laws." So It's all about controlling the money. If you can control the money, you can control the laws, right? So the ones that have control of the earth, these are your Luciferians, the ones that, have pushed out everything that you pretty much see, right? The system that you see going on is pushed by them. So from there, and this man had received power from the Most High. He hasn't received power from himself. People don't realize that the Most High is in complete control, and we can prove that. So this is Revelations 13:7. It says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints. Now, who are the saints? The saints are the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? They had their heritage stripped away, and they would start to call themselves African Americans, blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, Hispanics, Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans, Haitians, Guatemalans, Venezuelans, Colombians, all that. All these peoples are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, the chosen, which come from the 12 tribes of Israel, right? So it was given them power to the white man, all right, Esau, to make war with the saints and to overcome them. Okay, so he came. This is when he came to power during the Renaissance. It says, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. That time about the Illuminati, man. The so-called white man, Esau. Right? It says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. And the reason why you're worshiping him is because of the system that was laid out. The system that was laid out, okay, comes from the elites. So when you subscribe to Christianity or any other thing is pushed in society, it all comes from the elites, and this is how you're worshiping him. You see? So from there, let's prove that the Most High is in control. This is Daniel 4:17. This matters by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones through the intent that the living may know, yet the living are the ones that have attained this knowledge and wisdom and understanding according to the scriptures. All right, the elect of the nation of Israel to understand these mysteries, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set up over the basis of men. Okay, so the Lord has set up the basis of men. And what are the basis of men? It would be Esau. All right, it would be the so-called white man. All right, the children of the wicked. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 1. And this is going into the Lord, showing you who's in control. Verse 1, it says, hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand, learn ye that be judges of the ends of the earth. Who are the judges right now? The Illuminati. Give ear, you that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of the nations. For power is given you of the Lord, Yahweh Shemau Shai, and sovereignty from the highest, who shall try your works and search out your counsels. Because being ministers of his kingdom, ye have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of the Most High. And this was ultimately dealing with the time when the Israelites were in rulership. But now that same aspect, all right, that same sentiment is pertaining to now the elites. Verse 4, because being minister of his kingdom, you have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of the Most High. It says, horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places. And who's in high places, man? It'll be the Luciferians on the left-hand side. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented. For he which is Lord over all shall fear no man's person, neither shall he stand in awe of any man's greatness. For he hath made the small and the great, and care for all alike. For the sword of travail shall come upon the mighty. Alright? The Lord's about to turn his kingdom back over into the righteous rulers of the earth. Right? As the scriptures say, when the wicked rule, the people mourn. When the wicked bad rule, the people mourn. But when the righteous on authority, the people rejoice. You should get that real quick. Proverbs 29:2. It said, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Right? And the people are mourning right now. Right? Now let's go to Psalm 75:4. Let's further prove that the Most High is in complete control. Psalm 75:4. I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked lift not up the horn. We understand who the wicked are according to Job 9:24. And also Malachi 1:4. Right? Esau. Lift not up your horn on high. Right? That horn symbolic unto your power. Speak not with a stiff neck, for promotion coming neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But Yahweh is the judge. He put down one and set up another. For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poured out the same. But it dregs thereof. All the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. See? But I will declare forever, right? I will sing praises to Yahweh of Jacob. Right? All the horns of the wicked also will I cut off, but the horns of the righteous shall be exalted. And that's the time that we're heading into, man. The Lord is using the poor of this earth to confound the wise, and we're going to get that, man. We're going to get that. Proverbs 22:7, the rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. All right, because Esau, the so-called white man, was given rulership over the earth, but he has not ruled it right. He has not been fair. He's gathered riches, you know, and he's kept them to himself. You know, he has not shared the wealth with the people. But when we set up in authority, then we're going to rule in righteousness, and everyone's going to be happy, except for Esau and his people. This is James 5:1. It says, go to now, ye rich men. It's talking about the elites. Weep and howl for your misery that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud. Right, this pyramid system crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Right, Sabaoth, the Lord of armies. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. You have been undisciplined, man. You have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. You have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. Right? It says, be patient, therefore, brethren, until the coming of the Lord Yahweh by Shemel. Behold, the husband waited for the precious fruit of the earth, which is his elect, is being raised up right now, and had long patience for, until he received the early and latter rain. Right? So the Lord is having it out. You know, he's finna knock Esau, the so-called white man, off his pedestal, and he's gonna establish a righteous man. Proverbs 22:2, the rich and the poor meet together. That's talking about the Luciferians on the left-hand side and the Luciferians on the right-hand side, right? The wicked and the righteous meet together, in which the righteous would be the poor in this case, right? It says the Lord is the maker of them all. 1 Corinthians 1:26, for ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But Yahweh by Shemel had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. Alright, that's talking about the elect, the poor of this world, confounding the elites. And Yahweh had chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. See? And base things of the world and things which are despised have Yahweh chosen. Yeah, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are, that no flesh shall glory in its presence. Alright, so you see how the Lord said back in Daniel 4:17 that he sets up over, that he ruleth in the kingdom of men, he set up over the basis of men. Alright, so at one point in time, Esau, the so-called white man, was living in the caves. And they were called the basement of the earth, just like the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives are now. And the Lord set him on a pedestal. Now look where he is. So what do you think he's going to do with us? The Lord said he's going to set us up on an even higher pedestal, all right? Because we are his chosen. So we in that time where the Lord is beginning to make a shift. He's taking the elites, he's bringing them down, and we're meeting, we're clashing right here. He's eventually, our Lord's gonna come back. He's gonna take him out of power, and we're gonna be set back on top. And then we're gonna rule the earth in righteousness. All right. So with James 2:5, and it reads, "Hearken, my beloved brethren, have not Yahweh chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom which He hath promised to them that love Him?" See, the Lord chose us to have faith, man, to have faith in what this word is talking about, and to believe that we're going to be set up in rulership, all right, in the next kingdom. So we are heirs, all right, of the kingdom which He had promised to them to love Him. And this goes all the way back to the promise of Abraham, man, in which Esau, the so-called white man, wants to stop because he casted away his blessing, right, which entailed rulership. But we're not taking this man down with any kind of physical or carnal weapons. 2 Corinthians 10:4, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High, to the pulling down of strongholds." And what's a stronghold, man? The elites, the system, this government. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. Right? And this is what's confounding the Almighty. The fact that we're able to go into the scriptures and reveal His iniquity. 2 Maccabees 15-16, "Take this holy sword, a gift from the Most High, with thee which thou shalt wound the adversaries." It's not talking about a physical sword, man. It's talking about a spiritual sword. It's talking about a spiritual sword that we land on Esau, man. Alright? Esau's blessing was the carnal sword, his weaponry, man. Our blessing was the spirit. And this is how we're going to be able to take Esau out of power. So that's why we do these videos and all this stuff like that, man. Because it's all to speak the Lord's word about what's upcoming, the prophecies that are coming, and to tell our people to repent so they can receive an inheritance in the upcoming kingdom, man. Talking about these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Hebrews 4:11, "Let us labor therefore to enter into that rest, lest any man should fall after that same example of unbelief." All right, so the ones that have been called into this faith, we are to labor. All right, we are to put a hand to the plow and to continue working, pushing His word out, so that we can receive the kingdom. Hebrews 4:12, "For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of the soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart." Alright? And this word is powerful, man. This is why the whole world is in an uproar and chaos. It's because we use this word to tear down. Well, Yahweh, Bashim Shah, is using His prophets to speak His word. And it's tearing down these kingdoms. Jeremiah 51:20, "Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms." And you're seeing these kingdoms being destroyed as we speak. Alright? And this is done in this physical sense, but it's also going to be done. It's like this is right now being done in a spiritual sense, but it's going to be done in the physical too, right? The Lord's going to give His man power. Psalms 37:9 said, "For evil doers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shah shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yet thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace." You see? So they want to cut us off from receiving this peace, all right? That's why it was important for them to take away our inheritance. All right? Verse 12, "The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth." It's talking about His laws and His military. "The Lord shall laugh at him, for He said that His day coming." Right? "The wicked have drawn out the sword and bent their bow, to cast down the poor and the needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. But their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bow shall be broken. A little that a righteous man have." Well, a little that a righteous man have is what? This faith, right? These treasures of the scriptures. It's better than the riches of many wicked. So consider everything that the wicked got. it ain't nothing in comparison to his word, right? Because when we speak his word, the Lord's gonna move, right? He's gonna move in favor for his prophets. Alright. Verse 17, for the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord Yahweh Shemashah upholdeth the righteous. See? Let's go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 7. Start at verse 41. It says, even so now sin and corruption is grown up, and wickedness increased, and the righteous have prayed for the ungodly. Right? It's talking about you people, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, natives that are praying for the ungodly, which consists of these Edomites. Wherefore shall it not be so now also? He answered me and said, this present life is not the end where much glory doth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak. But the day of doom, all right, the judgment day, when America is going to be destroyed by ICBM thermonuclear missiles, shall be the end of this time and the beginning of immortality before to come, wherein corruption is past, intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is growing, and truth is sprung up. Right? Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, and Esau is going to be destroyed, nor to oppress him that had gotten the victory. And who's going to get the victory? Jacob, the seed of Jacob, the Israelites. I always like to pull up, man. Like we enter into a time where this kingdom's gonna be transferred, right, from Esau to Jacob. 2nd Esdras 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of this world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows, right? So no one's gonna be able to save Esau. He's gonna be destroyed, and no one's gonna be able to oppress him that got the victory, which is Jacob, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. You know, the Lord's using the poor of this world to confound the mighty. You know, this man is hella scared right now, man, through the spirit. He's doing this, why everything's going on throughout the world, because he is trying to establish his new world order, you know, to keep his birthright. But it's gonna come to no avail. Alright, so that's what we're doing, man. That's what the Lord doing through his prophets, tearing down this structure and rebuilding a new one. So with that, Lord willing, edifying to the next time. Shalom.